Once upon a time, a long, long time ago.
It actually wasn't that long ago. It was 1969 in Hollywood.
I'm Cassie Keller,
And I'm Tess English.
and today we're going to talk about the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was released in 2019. This movie is about a fictional Western actor named Rick Dalton. In 1969, he struggles to revive his movie career when a casting director suggests he goes into spaghetti westerns in Italy, which Dalton feels are beneath him.
Dalton is cast to play a villain in the pilot of a Western television series called Lancer, an attempt to save his career from going overseas. The pressure to make this performance his best gets to him.
Meanwhile, Dalton's best friend and stunt double, Cliff Booth, struggles to find stunt work. Generally, he maintains his living by not his Hollywood career, but by his handiwork and services he provides for Dalton.
The movie follows these two characters around as events lead up to the Manson family murders. We are critiquing the editing style of this film today, including our favorite scenes along with some secrets from the editor. So let's get started with the analysis of the editing. How we're establishing our analysis is based on our viewings of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, as well as what we've learned from the podcast The Art of the Cut, where video editor Fred Raskin was interviewed about the film. The first thing they go on to discuss is the musical score for the movie. The music was inspired by the director Quentin Tarantino's memory of the 1960s. The sound bites of the KJ DJs on the radio are consciously written in as characters to help set the tone of the movie and the time period.
Along with the musical score, various scenes were edited stylistically to make homages to movies of the time period. For instance, when Jim Stacy introduces himself to Rick Dalton, jump cuts are used to make an homage to Brian De Palma's films like The Wedding Party, that is noteworthy for its invocation of silent film techniques and its insistence on jump cuts for effect. The majority of the editing in this movie involved jump cuts that were intentionally made to fit with the beat of the track. The editor said that this movie has more jump cuts in it than any of Tarantino's previous work. Our favorite scene is actually greatly affected by the use of jump cuts.
Okay, so our favorite scene we picked is actually a little controversial because the best scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood isn't the flamethrower scene, but rather the one where Dalton has a mental break in his trailer. It's funny, dramatic, emotionally charged, and quite frankly, a touch relatable, as scary as that sounds. So what's interesting about this scene is first and foremost is that it wasn't scripted. Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays Dalton, completely improvised the scene from Tarantino's notes based on what he wanted the scene to accomplish. Instead of using all the footage from 4 takes, the editors cut down the scenes using jump shots. Since sound effects are good cues for jump cuts, the scene's jump cuts are cued by in-scene sound rather than by music as it is in the rest of the film. Additionally, what you can see from this entire shot is done from one position, a canvas of the trailer. This is intriguing because in film, moving left to right shows progress, then going right to left shows regression. Since the shot never moves, it emphasizes how the character Dalton is trapped in this warped mental state, practically unable to get out.
The Dalton freakout scene is not the only place where they had to shorten it, which leads us to our favorite secret of the editor. Their rough cut was actually 4 hours and 30 minutes long. In the first round of editing, they managed to edit it down to 3.5 hours. In the movie, you were actually supposed to get the plot of the Lancer pilot that Rick was a part of. Originally, there were 4 Lancer-related plot scenes, but they edited out the first and 4th scenes in the second round of editing. They started by getting rid of the 4th scene because what they had wanted to accomplish from those scenes was accomplished by the 3rd scene. With the 4th ending scene out, the 1st scene became unnecessary, even if it was aesthetic.
They also edited down the Al Pacino scene from 20 minutes to just a few minutes. These big dialogue cuts are actually how they got down to their first round of cuts. Originally, whenever the story cut to another character, the film would focus on them for a long while. So if a scene cut to Sharon Tate, the story would follow her around for 20 to 25 minutes, rather than just a few minutes here and there. Jump cuts are the most important part of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They not only help to cut down the insane amount of footage in a rough cut, but they help reinforce the rhythm of the audio and paid homage to the films that inspired Tarantino.
And now that those hippies are not okay, let's go drinking with the neighbors.